Welcome to Funemployed, where we feature stories from creative professionals and self-employed people from a whole range of industries. I'm James Daly, and in today's video we're featuring Alexandra, an online marketing specialist from Ukraine, who's now living the digital nomad life. I find her story particularly inspiring as she kind of created her own role. She directly messaged people that she admired, wanted to work with, and pitched herself to them on her own. A really cool way to kind of invent the job that you invent your dream job, basically. Yeah. So check out her story. She goes through the whole story here and talks about how she got to where she is today and her plans for the future.
So my name is Alexandra and I'm turning 30. Usually girls don't tell the age, but I don't mind. I'm from Ukraine. I'm living in Kiev at the moment, but for the past 7 years, it's been Netherlands, before that Greece, before that a little bit in the US and UK. So a little bit all over the world, but the longest have been in the Netherlands. And there for the past 4 years, I've been doing a corporate job, 9 to 5 in the office. Well, 9 to 5, more like 8 to 8 in the office, doing the event management for a big corporate hotel, organizing all different types of event, contracts, negotiations, clients, phone calls, thousands of emails per day. I mean, you probably know the drill. And after coming back from I would say long-term traveling, beginning of 2019, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. I stayed for another half a year doing the same job, but constantly thinking, okay, I have to change it. I have to change it. I can't do it anymore. And it was, I think it was November 2019 when I was like, okay, I'm quitting. And I decided that in the morning as I entered the office and I realized like, I don't want to enter this office anymore. I went straight to my manager and I said, look, I have to go. I'm quitting. Sorry, but that's done for me. And they were like, oh, so you found a new job. Where are you going? And I'm like, no, I don't have a new job, but I also can't do this one anymore. And I don't know, it's probably like Dutch mentality. They were all shocked. Like, how is that you don't have a new job anymore? You're quitting and you don't have anything else. How are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to live? What are you going to do? And I just knew that for me, it was done. And I didn't care further like, what will happen. I tried applying for different jobs. They didn't hire me. So I was like, well, okay. So that's then when I decided I want to move from the Netherlands, go travel a little bit and try to set myself up as a, like in the digital nomad lifestyle. And I think it worked pretty well. I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm happy with where I am now. And at the moment, I'm in online marketing, copywriting, SEO, all that drill, like having different clients and doing different projects for them. So I would say online marketing, digital marketing is my main focus and my main occupation at the moment. I was learning pretty much as I went. I know that, well, my 4 years in the university where only studied didn't really bring a lot of knowledge to me, and that was international tourism and hospitality. So like my attitude to studying, you have to have the knowledge, but you also have to know how to put it in practice. So I was like, I have to find a job and just do it in real life and not just read about it in the books and following the courses. So as probably a lot of other people, I've been inspired by other creators, other digital nomads that are out there in the world. They have Instagram accounts and all the social media platforms that I was following. And I was like, yeah, I also want to do it. And then somebody once gave me an advice that only follow advices of those who are like already where you want to be. I'm sure how to say it correctly, but those who made it, who are already there and they know like that's what you want to do, ask them how to do it. So I thought like, okay, who are the people that inspired me the most? And There was one particular couple on Instagram, and I contacted them. I sent them an email, and I explained them my situation. I told them how inspired I was by their story, and I offered my services, like to do some administrative tasks for them and whatever they need my help with, in exchange for teaching me online marketing, digital marketing, and all the background story, I guess, of how they make it and the whole process of living this lifestyle. It took a while before I got a reply, and it took a couple of tries trying to reach them. But at the end, they answered me, and we had a phone call, and I sent my CV and my portfolio. And 6 months later, we're still working together. They took me in as a part of their team, and I'm managing, well, I'm helping to manage their website, doing SEO, also a little bit first steps in UI UX design, and also quite a lot of analytical stuff, working with the Google Analytics, Google Console, Google Tags, Tag Manager, all those things. And they helped me learn basically everything. And I had a real website to practice everything I was learning on their website. And I did a couple of courses, but I would say the main knowledge came from putting it into practice straight away. And I'd say one book I read about it, that's SEO 2019, just to get, your basic, like the terminology, what it means, and that helped a lot. But the rest just came with just by doing it. I think the best thing and the first thing that comes to mind, and I think a lot of people will say it when you ask me this question, is independency, like freedom. You are not locked to any specific location, not an office or your house or your country or your city. You can be anywhere and do your job from anywhere. And that is the best part by far. And also making your own schedule. I mean, I can work at night, I can work in the weekend, I can work in the morning whenever I have the time. And if I feel like working on a Sunday and I don't have any plans, I'll do it. And if some friends offered me to go, I don't know, do some fun things on a Monday afternoon, I can still do it and just work in the evening instead. And that's just beautiful. And as I mentioned, coming from a corporate job where I had to commute 1.5 hours one way, 5 times a week, it's just, I can't even describe how good it feels to make your own schedule and to be able to open your laptop at home, in your bedroom, or in the cafe, or anywhere, and just start working. That's it, 100%. The worst part, I like people, I like socializing. I think, well, I consider myself an extrovert, and I'd say the social part is the one that I'm missing. um but that's also, you can have it both, I guess. So once you're getting into this digital nomad style, or like self-employed, yeah, thanks to your website or to other website or communities in Facebook, you can meet people who are also doing it, and maybe join some co-working spaces. But I haven't done it at the moment. And there are days, especially like this year, with quarantine and self-isolation and everything, it has been particularly hard. I think like first 3 months, from March to June, I've stayed home most of the days, just working behind the computer. And as it can be fun when everything is all right with our world, and the normal situation. But I have to admit, sometimes it can be quite lonely. And especially if you are used to being around people. And the other thing that comes to mind is, I think it's like self-discipline. To Nobody is there to tell you, okay, you have to work from this and this, those are your tasks, and that nobody's there to check the quality of the job you've done. You are your own boss. So I have to set my own goals. I have to make sure that I get the job done and that I'm not just procrastinating most of the days doing nothing and like lounging in my pajamas all day. So that's like, you have to keep yourself motivated and disciplined, and can be hard sometimes, but not if you enjoy doing what you're doing. Well, again, I'll just answer with the first thing that comes in mind. It's just working with the people that I'm working with. Like this couple, I've been following them for, I think, 4 years online, and they've always been like, those perfect people in the internet that you look up to them and you think, oh my God, they have everything figured out, which they're not, by the way, they're still human beings. But, reaching out to them and getting a reply, finding a job, working with them for like over half a year now. And um, I started, let's say, as a, what's the word, an intern, like a yeah, free intern, but that lasted maybe only first month, maybe 2 months, and after that we just felt so happy working with each other that they offered me a salary, and I have like my percentage from the brand deals and collaborations that we are doing. So from that moment on, it just been always going up. So that's the thing that I'm happy the most with. Yeah, and I didn't think about it like that when I contacted them. I was just like, what do I have to lose? Nothing. Well, if I'll get a rejection, well, I got like 20 rejections from all the employers I applied to, and whatever, there will be just the other ones, but they didn't. Typical. It changes. I don't have a routine, that's for sure, and that's one of the reasons why I also like doing what I'm doing. But I would say most of the days I will start working not sooner than like 1, 2 p.m. I am more productive in the afternoons, and that the freedom of being able to do so and carry on working like in the afternoon to later in the night is just beautiful. And I need the time in the morning to wake up and to slowly start my day. So that is the time that is dedicated from me. And I just take my time, I'll have breakfast, shower, workout, and all that. And once that's done, it's usually about 1 p.m. I will open my laptop, and people that I'm working with, they are based in Bali for the past 6-7 months. So I have to calculate also the time difference. So Bali is 5 hours ahead, and a lot of times I'll wake up and I will already have some messages and tasks that I'll need to do, and I'll check that. And if there's anything urgent, I might start working straight away and then move my morning routine to the afternoon. But that depends. It's every day is different. And I try maybe once or twice a week to get out and go with my laptop to a cafe to just, change of scenery, maybe meet some other people, have something different to do. And that's especially the days when I have a specific project to get done, because then the chances of me procrastinating are less. I'll just go in the cafe and I'll set the time. I'll have like 2 or 3 hours. Okay, you have to get this done, and I'll work nonstop until that's done. And then I'm like going home with this feeling of accomplishment. Easily. Do it sooner. You do it sooner, because I waited way too long, in my opinion. But that comes, I think, from self-doubt, like all those questions. Will I be able to do it? Am I good enough? Do I have enough knowledge? Who will hire me? Who on earth will hire me? And because I wanted to do it for years, that it has been on my mind over and over and over again. But I've been living in the Netherlands, and life is expensive there. And you have to take into account, all those paying rent, paying insurance, groceries, your, I don't know, transportation, and also having some fun along the way. So you can't just quit your job and have this gap of, if you are lucky, just a few months, but you don't know, it can be also half a year to a year before you will find a new job and be able to make your own income. So that is very scary, especially, when you have obligations to pay and, bills coming in. And also, yeah, doubting. I was really scared to do it. I wasn't like sure if I would be able to do so. And then I went traveling for like 4 months, and I met so many people from all over the world that were living the lifestyle that I wanted to live. And I was asking them all these questions. And the funny thing, they were also scared, and they were still scared to that day when you were already doing it for a few years. They were like, yeah, I mean, I have the job now, but I don't know if I'll have it tomorrow. That will also be, that will always be the case. But I mean, is it worth it? 100%. So, after hearing all those stories and other people experiences, I got more excited and motivated. And I was like, okay, maybe it's not that scared. And, but I have to say it, like with the quarantine, I went to visit my family in Ukraine, in Kiev, and that's where I've been staying for past half a year. And that, like, the reason that I've been able to switch from the corporate to self-employed style is a possibility of being home, living in my family house, not having to pay rent or any other bills for that matter. So my only expenses were, my food, groceries, and meeting friends, and I don't know, cafes and restaurants and stuff like that. For the rest, like, I had zero bills to pay. So that gave me freedom to try something new and to go. I had nothing to lose. I'm like, I can live in Ukraine for maybe like 200 a month, 200 euros a month, just paying for my groceries and food. And I could make those money easily. And that took off such a huge like weight off my shoulder, and that feeling that you are scared. I was like, if I ever gonna do it, that is the time. So I just went full on, dived in, and it turned out well for me. Oh, my next goal. So I'm not planning on staying in Ukraine forever. So I still want, my plan was to move to Bali before, all the quarantine and lockdown. So that is still the plan. And people that I'm working with, they're also based in Bali, and we actually haven't met in real life yet. So that is the plan. And I still want to be a part of their team. I still think that I have like so much to learn from. And they just hired two more like SEO specialists, web developers, and they can teach me also so many new things. And as you mentioned, UI UX design is also something I want to try, and hopefully I can test it out on the website that I'm working on. So just, by little things. And what is it? Adobe XD, I think that's the program that I started learning. You see, I can't even remember the name, but I'm learning it. And I know that a lot of UI UX designers are working with it. So that is something also on my to-do list. Maybe Adobe Illustrator, I'll see. But, it's hard to make plans at the moment when everything in the world is so uncertain. And I certainly thought I won't be in Ukraine at that moment, but here I am. And, I'm not complaining. It's just the situation in the world. But for now, I'm happy where I am. And I just want to keep progressing in the same field and keep learning more about digital marketing, SEO, UI, UX. And I was thinking whether I want to go like fully self-employed and not to be working in the team. But again, I love being with other people, and I love having people to, chat with, and to have some sort of a remote colleagues. So at the moment, I'm just happy where I am, and we'll see how it will turn out once hopefully world goes back into normality. Well, the book that inspired me to start all that is by Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Work Week. That is the book that I started reading while traveling. And I actually met a lot of other travelers who are also reading that book. So I think it kind of must read for a lot of travelers. So I loved it. I absolutely loved it. He gives so many valuable information and advices in there. And as I mentioned before, the advice that I've got, that was from this book, when he said, don't be afraid to contact people that you are inspired by. Just send them an email. You have nothing to lose. Whether you will, if you get a reply, it's a win. If you didn't get a reply, you didn't lose anything. So that was also like one of the reasons and motivations when I sent my email to that couple. And once you set your mind on a particular field you want to work in, I don't know, whether it's marketing or IT design, I don't know, research some books, like to have a solid foundation is important. It's it's a base that you can build on. And yet again, practice it. Don't just base your knowledge on theory. Yes, it's important, but practice is as important as having a good foundation. And I don't know, like just Google books that can help. And what I've tried recently is Skillshare. I know there are also a lot of, like Udemy has a lot of great, some free like courses, or some of them are super inexpensive. I think you can have a course on Udemy for like $20, and it's a 40-hour course. It's good just to have your basics. I'm not saying that you can limit yourself to those resources, but it's good to start with. And after that, you will know at least if that's something you want to deepen yourself in, or with something that completely doesn't resonate with your interests, and you will move on to something completely different. But just test it out, play around, give yourself time to make mistakes, to learn new things, and you will find something for sure that will like inspire you and motivate you to work in. So the best place to follow me is for sure on Instagram. I'm trying to be as active as possible there. I'm posting lots of stories and I'm sharing photos, but I'm also writing text. At the moment, it's still, I think, 60-70% in Russian, but I'm trying to be better and write more in English. So I'll be happy to see you on my Instagram. That's the main place to find me.